Hi students, so I'm going to talk a little bit about sports photography and show you some good examples. So for your sports assignment, I want you to really think about these three things: moment, perspective, and the art of the game. So I'm going to go into detail about these, starting with moment. So moment in any kind of sports photography is really important, whether it's someone catching the ball and winning the game, that moment, or a split second moment where someone is hitting the ball, hitting a baseball. The moment is really important. For this specific picture, which is more than likely a picture you've seen before, this is the end of the fight, and this also is a really great example of perspective as well, because you can see the photographer is lower than Mike Tyson, so you can or no, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. So, you get this sense that he is really large. Not only that, but you can see the announcer that is down below and between his legs, so you can kind of see everybody in this picture, as well as the posture of the two boxers. Here is an example of, like that moment where the team won the game when this guy caught the ball. Here's another photograph in the Olympics, I believe, at the very end of the game. A lot of these are, victory type moments that I'm showing. Here again. And I don't know if you remember this. Well, you guys probably don't remember this, but I'm going blank on her name, but she basically landed perfectly after actually pretty much breaking her ankle. She still ran on a broken ankle, and she won the gold medal. So perspective as well. Thinking about perspective, here is a bird's eye view perspective of a similar photograph that I just showed when a player is defeated, and you can see the symmetry in this is really nice too. It's well balanced. It frames everything with all the people surrounding the ring. Here's kind of the opposite perspective where it's below. This is a really important race for Michael Phelps, where he just very small second or part of a second won the race. Here's another bird's eye view. Also just thinking about shaping your frame, and the layout of this frame is really nice. So it's again symmetrical, but in a different way that's well balanced. This would be a totally different shot if, in many ways, if the paraplegic legs, I think that's what people call them, if the legs hadn't have been over there on the left side, just laying on the carpet. And also thinking about the art of the game. So really understanding the game is important. So if you're an athlete yourself, this is where your expertise comes in. So whether you're playing baseball or soccer, understanding how the game works is really important. So this is a really great example of moment as well. The catcher being basically upside down as the runner slides in home. And, just understanding important moments, like knowing where to be at specific times. If this photographer didn't know how popular Tiger Woods would be, or if he didn't know where to be at a specific time in order to be able to see or understand that there would probably be a crowd of people around him, and knowing to be up high on some sort of platform, then he or she would have never gotten the shot. And then, of course, you know, understanding or predicting moments like this where Michael Jordan gives everybody a show of him dunking a basketball. Here again, winning a race. This is a famous picture of Babe Ruth that I just wanted to include because the cameras at the time, in order to get this shot where he is clear and everybody else, I mean, there's so many people in this shot, and the fact that he is easily recognizable is pretty remarkable. You can see that this was done in a dark room, and I can tell that whoever made this picture lightened him up, dodged his face, so you can see even on the right side of his cheek, it's a little bit, washed out. That's from the darkroom process. But still, like, he's in a different outfit. He's kind of in a weird way, like, framed by all of these mostly kids surrounding him. There's another pretty cool shot. And then, not even thinking about, in sports photography, you want to think about everything else besides just being on the court, but being in the locker rooms, being in the stands, like this shot right here, being a part of the audience during the game. This photo is really funny. And this was just a moment where the coach is, obviously trying to get them excited and get them really motivated. And then also think about, you're going to have to really think about shutter speed when you're doing any kind of sports photography. So this shot here with the girls and the soccer ball, it's a very, very fast speed. And then here's a nice chart to kind of help you understand, if you are certain feet away from the subject and what's the lowest speed you can use in order to get a fast picture like this. So yeah, if that's really helpful reference. This is something that I don't really have just like a chart like this handy if I'm doing any kind of picture. You just kind of know from experience that if it's less than 1/125th of a second and you are kind of close to the players, it's probably going to smear. It's probably going to be a little bit blurry. So thinking about shutter speed being fast enough to where you can get that moment, but slow enough where the light is, you're getting enough light into your lens. And then also all your cameras have continuous shooting. Sports photography does require a bit of technical knowledge compared to others. So knowing which lenses are appropriate to get close-up shot or a wide-angle shot, and also continuous shooting. So that means that your camera is on a setting. Most of the icons, it looks like a bunch of squares on top of each other. That means that when you push the button, it'll go click, 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 as opposed to click, click. That's called single shooting. But if your settings are on continuous shooting, it should rapidly shoot. And depending on how nice your camera is, the faster it'll be. So the really nice cameras it'll be so fast, it'll be like kind of thing. As opposed to some of the cheaper cameras, sort of be like click, 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 a little bit slower. So if you have something that's really fast, like these frames here on the left of a runner, it looks like somebody's jumping over somebody so they can touch the base, basically, or I don't know, I can't really tell by those little pictures, but you guys can look. You get the idea. So yeah, just making sure that that's on continuous shooting when you are taking pictures like these on the left. And also think about here on the right what you're actually focusing on. So your camera, if you are putting your frame where this first picture is and you're trying to focus on the player, the camera is not always smart enough to know exactly which exposure it needs. So your meter might read like, hey, this picture is going to turn out with nice exposure, but really it's going to be nice exposure for the background and not for the foreground, like this picture on the top right, where the audience, the exposure looks nice and it's blurry, but the player is dark. So kind of thinking, sometimes I even have to like look down at the ground if the lighting is similar to what I'm shooting. Like if I'm in this situation, the player's lighting is similar to the ground right below him, then I will, point the camera to the ground and then look at the meter to see how the exposure looks, and then put my camera up. And the meter's going to look totally different because it thinks I'm trying to take a picture of the audience, but it'll be correct. It'll be correct in, on the player, on the exposure for the player. Yeah, just here's some other examples. Here's a quick thing if you wanted to pause this video and read how Sports Illustrated covers a basketball game. This is something I don't have experience with, but I do know that there's obviously a lot of prep that goes into an actual game in the sidelines, and I'm just glad I'm not down there to get all stomped on. Because they're right there at the very, very edge.